All right, so we got to cut. The Loyalists have won the Istvaan v Dropsite Massacre. What is that? Let's go to the video.
G'day, guys and
Ow!
gal. The Horus Heresy was absolutely full of pivotal moments and epic feats of power that continually swung the balance of power between the Loyalists and the traitors. However, nothing made quite as much impact as the Istvaan Dropsite Massacre.
Istvaan Dropsite, okay.
Iron Hands and Salamanders were more or less wiped out. The Istvaan Dropsite Massacre, where the Raven Guard, Iron Hands and Salamanders were more or less wiped out, with Vulcan being taken prisoner and Ferris getting killed, whilst the traitor legions barely took any real damage from it. It was probably the most decisive victory of the entire heresy. But could the Loyalists have actually won? Could it be possible that a different combination of Loyalist legions could have actually overcome the surprise bukkake that the traitors delivered? Before we get started, I have some pretty delicious Christmas merch for you guys and gals that I know is going to be a hit. Just look at this Christmas hat.
Okay.
That is awesome. But before I can open these up for sale or to show you the other goodies that are coming, I want to give everyone one last chance to pick up the 400k Majorkill merch.
I think he's doing an ad right now.
Stock left,
all right, listen, while he does this ad, man, I want to thank you guys so much for all the support, man. You know, it's crazy because every time I upload a video or whatever, I look at my other videos. I look at like the last, 2 or 3 videos, but I don't scroll all the way down. But man, yeah, bro, the support has been absolutely ridiculous, bro. Rebonkulous. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching all the videos. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get right to it. Let's go.
For a quick rundown on what happened for those of you who aren't addicted to the lore of the plastic crack, Horus had just been revealed as a traitor and fortified a world called Istvaan 5 with the help of the World Eaters, Emperor's Children and Death Guard. The Emperor sent out most of his legions to crush Horus. First to land in the vanguard was the Iron Hands, Salamanders and Raven Guard, who would then be later backed up by the Iron Warriors, Night Lords, Word Bearers and Alpha Legion. However, after the initial clash and arrival of the supposedly loyal reinforcements, it was revealed that the Iron Warriors, Night Lords, Word Bearers and Alpha Legion were also traitor. Hence they opened fire on the surprise Salamanders, Iron Hands and Raven Guard. This led to a massacre in which about 95% of the Loyalist forces were slaughtered. Ferris was killed, Vulcan was taken prisoner, and Corvus staged a desperate escape.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare!
In their tender balls, and gave Horus a massive advantage in the early stages of the heresy. That's more or less the rundown of what actually happened. But
bro, if I was there, that would never happen. I would have been able to tell if those guys were traitors or not.
Not necessarily what could have been. Before we choose which Loyalist legions should have gone to Istvaan, let's look at why the Loyalists fared so badly in the first place. Beyond, you know, the fact that they got absolutely turbo-raped from both sides by a massive
Facts, bro, we got traded on.
The 3 legions sent, that being the Iron Hands, Salamanders and Raven Guard, were not particularly good choices for this type of engagement.
What do you mean? Whoa. I completely disagree. I mean, the Raven Guard and stuff like that, I mean, they may be horrible choices, but the Salamanders were a perfect choice. What?
The battleground was a hilly, chewed-up bog that had fuck all cover. It was basically no man's land, which didn't allow much room for genuine strategy. As such, the battle turned into more or less a Leroy Jenkins for both sides.
So basically, they fought in an alleyway in New York. Basically. Wow.
This sucks for the Raven Guard, who were the ultimate stealth and infiltration legion. Whenever the Raven Guard are forced into this fucky full-send warfare, they always suffer greatly, as shown by their massive amount of casualties during the Battle of Gate 42. The Iron Hands were actually quite well suited to this grueling battle. However, Ferris was way too emotional due to Fulgrim's betrayal, and he continued to charge in whilst the Salamanders and Raven Guard fell back.
Look at you! You're not even abiding by the plan! This is why nobody supports your group! Man!
The destruction of the Iron Hands, as even if the arriving legions didn't end up entering the list of top 10 anime betrayals, Ferris would still have been killed and his legion crushed. The Salamanders were okay for Istvaan, but not great. Their love of flame-based weaponry means they excel in close-quarter combat, where they could more or less just torch down corridors. Open fields aren't great for the shorter-range flame weapons. On top of that, none of the Loyalist legions were particularly large when compared to the Ultramarine or Dark Angel legions. In fact, Horus specifically manipulated events so that he would face these 3 Loyalist legions in particular. He had sent the Dark Angels to the edges of space and tricked Sanguinius into getting ambushed by demons ages away as well. Bro! His pick of exactly who to send. Who would have been best? Well, definitely not the space. They didn't have the discipline to to the betrayal. They would have probably done a better job than the Iron Hands, killing more traitors, with Lehman likely taking down a traitor Primarch.
One thing I'm gonna say about this, Horus was actually smart about this. The fact that he was actually able to, he basically mapped out the entire field that they played on. And obviously, like, for the 3 loyalist like groups or whatever, like they all had like disadvantages in that like on that map or whatever. So if I'm being honest with you, that's like me going up against like a phase member in like high rise. Like, bro, that's like I'm getting absolutely clapped on, because like, bro, that's like a map, bro, where yes, there's like a lot of like different, and I'm talking about Call of Duty, by the way. Like, high rise is like a cheesy map to the point to where like if you're like a sniper or whatever, you can just camp out like literally across the map and like kill somebody. Whether if we're in like if we're in like oh my god, what's the map called? Shipment. If we're in Shipment, then I have a fair chance, because that's like a close combat map. You get what I'm saying? So Horus was actually pretty smart in that regard, so I'll give it to him. Dang, bro.
Before he was torn down. But overall, a similar
He was smart.
result.
He was smart.
Just with more traitor casualties. The White Scars also wouldn't have been a great choice for changing the result, although their casualty rate would be a lot lower, as they would be able to retreat and skirmish once the betrayal was revealed. The Khan himself would have had a good chance of surviving the battle and escaping Istvaan. Funnily enough, it's actually stated in lore that if Dorn and his entire legion of Imperial Fists were to go to Istvaan, then he would have probably been able to crush the traitors then and there. The Imperial Fists were a massive and very powerful legion, with Dorn being a perfect commander for such a volatile battle.
I mean, he looks cold, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Would give them space superiority, allowing him to control the skies, resupply his warriors, and if needed, perform an orderly withdrawal. Their ability to dig in and fortify would also be extremely clutch for when the betrayal was revealed, and the attempted spit roast would begin. However, in canon, it was also stated that despite Dorn likely being able to crush Horus then and there, leaving the throne world undefended would result in the Alpha Legion taking it and winning the heresy for Chaos anyways. So despite Dorn's legion being the best to send, they were the only one the Loyalists weren't allowed to use. So this leaves us with the obvious choice. The Blood Angels, Ultramarines, and Dark Angels would have been the best 3 legions to send, and would have likely achieved a victory over the traitors despite how fucked the situation was.
Okay.
Here's why. Firstly, these 3 legions were led by extremely tactical and level-headed Primarchs.
Yeah, I'll admit it. He's right about that. He's right, because then the Ultramarines, I think they had the G-Man, right? They had them. Who else? He said the Dark Angels too. I forgot who their Primarch or stuff was, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, that does make sense. Man!
There would be no full retard Leroy Jenkins suicide challenge. Orbital bombardments would soften up the traitors' anti-air defenses and allow the Loyalists to land unmolested.
Man!
They could set up their own fortifications and engage the traitors in intelligent combat that suited the strengths of these Loyalist legions. This takes away the traitors' insta-win card and complicates things greatly. These Loyalist legions, especially the Ultramarines, were fucking massive. So despite still being outnumbered, the Loyalists still had a pretty good shot. After some skirmishing, the battle would begin in earnest. Dark Angel Terminators backed up by enslaved men of iron and a bunch of war crime tier weaponry.
I had a question real quick. So the Emperor sent the Salamanders and the 2 other bum factions. So does that mean that like the Emperor is like the worst play? Oh no. Okay, I just thought about it, because I was about to say, yo, the Emperor, like, your play calling is horrible because you sent the wrong 3 like Loyalists or whatever to like, you know, help out or like clean up the battle or whatever. But turns out the Emperor didn't know that Horus had essentially had like a backup plan basically. So okay, I understand. Okay.
Would devastate the traitor lines, whilst Blood Angel forces would drop pod in for their classic shock and awe tactics. Ultramarines would secure key objectives and areas, feeding priceless tactical information to the other Loyalists. Sanguinius would be able to quickly engage key targets, including traitor Primarchs whom Sanguinius would either be able to fight off or even kill. When the secretly traitorous reinforcements would arrive, the Lion would order them to join in on the assault, rather than the broken Loyalists running up to them and requesting aid, opening themselves up to being slaughtered at close range. The reinforcements would not reply, and the Lion's instinct would tell him that something was off, which his brain would back up as he realized the reinforcements were not acting in accordance to how they should. At a similar time, Sanguinius' foresight would also likely show him the true nature of their reinforcements, giving the Loyalists pre-warning of what was to occur. As such, the Loyalists would be able to orderly withdraw to their fortifications and prepare for the Great Betrayal. The original traitor legions would have a hard time harassing or following the Loyalists, as they would have just been clapped extremely hard by the Loyalist onslaught, spearheaded by the Lion's war crimey toys and Sanguinius' might. Horus would spring his trap, and the Night Lords, Iron Warriors, Alpha Legion, and Wordbearers would open fire on the Loyalists from the other side. However, instead of cutting down thousands of Loyalists in seconds, the prepared Loyalists will have taken cover, put up shielding, and would already be returning fire. If anything, the Loyalists would have fired first, knowing what was about to happen. This is already a way better start than what actually happened in canon. However,
literally,
we still have 3 Loyalist legions up against 8 traitor legions who had them surrounded. Although they would be hard to beat, eventually the Loyalists would be cut down. To avoid this, they would need to sally out and attack either the newly arrived traitors or the traitors that they had just been fighting.
Yeah.
The best option would be to re-engage the original traitors led by Horus. Horus's overconfidence in how outnumbered the Loyalists were would have pulled his forces out of their trenches and bunkers. They would also be worn down from the initial shock assault, and they had also purged about a third of their legions during the Istvaan atrocity sometime before, should be notably less than the 3 Loyalist legions. On the flip side, the arriving traitors, led by Perturabo, would be fresh, more numerous, and had a much better position. As such, the Loyalists would use the Ultramarines to hold off the newly arrived traitors, using their superior tactics and high numbers, whilst the Blood Angels and Dark Angels renewed a vicious assault on Horus's forces. The Sons of Horus, World Eaters, Death Guard, and Emperor's Children would be taken by surprise by this new furious counterattack, expecting the Loyalists to instead attempt to withdraw or hunker down. Angron would probably be the first to die. Leading from the front, he would cop the brunt of the counterattack. If it wasn't mass heavy bolter fire that tore him to shreds, it would be Sanguinius. He was able to beat Demon Angron in canon, so he probably wouldn't have much issue with Mortal Angron. Fulgrim wouldn't be able to help himself, engaging the Lion in a duel of swordsmanship. A duel that the Lion would win, considering he is the greatest duelist of all the Primarchs.
Man, I heard that the Lion was him, bro. That's what I heard. I heard that he was... Bro, whenever it comes to the sword, bro, that man is Tom Brady.
After all, the dude was able to beat Conrad in a 1v1, despite Conrad being able to accurately see the future. At this point, Mortarion, who was already not super keen on the traitor forces due to their obsession with the warp, would likely order the Death Guard to retreat, not wishing to join his brothers in death for a cause he didn't really believe in. With 2 traitor Primarchs dead, the Death Guard falling back, and the Sons of Horus being cut down and demoralized without their Primarch near him, after all, Horus was hiding in a bunker during the battle, the original traitor forces would waver, whilst the newly arrived traitors would desperately try to break through the Ultramarines to reinforce Horus. Guilliman taking advantage of the enemy's desperation and frantic rush to inflict massive casualties. Sanguinius would seek out Horus, issuing a challenge to him that Horus wouldn't be able to resist. Sanguinius would fly to him and engage him in a titanic duel. I can't say for certain who would win this fight. Horus was a mighty Primarch, but he had not yet received the power bust from Chaos that he was going to receive before he would fight and kill Sanguinius in canon.
I can't lie to you, bro. Sanguinius, bro, he is, bro, he got the wings too, right? Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Sanguinius, bro, he's him. I might have to pick Sanguinius on this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I might have to.
By Horus during the Siege of Terra, he just killed Kabunda, Demon Angron, and about 1 million traitor marines. Dude was fucking knackered. In this circumstance, he would really had only gotten scrappy with Mortal Angron, and that's a big maybe. There's no reason why a good cum blast from the Dreadwing wouldn't have put Angron down. So I would honestly give the duel to Sanguinius. Dude was just the leader of his brothers when it came to epic anime battles. With Horus dead, the resolve of the traitor legions would shatter. The Night Lords would fall back, seeking to escape into the void. The Wordbearers would likely fight to the end. Lorgar being in utter disarray and despair that his destiny would not be fulfilled. The Alpha Legion would also likewise escape. Perturabo may also try run, but I have a feeling he would fight to the end, not willing to be captured or forced to run like a rat. It might not necessarily end clean for the Imperium. The Ultramarines could easily be cut down, with Guilliman dying in a 2v1 against Conrad and Lorgar, forcing the Lion and his Dark Angels to hold off the traitors while Sanguinius killed Horus. It could end in the death of all the Loyalists. However, I am confident that Horus would also die before then. The reality is, it doesn't matter if every Loyalist is killed if Horus also dies. Without Horus, there is no great plan or win. So yes, with just 3 legions, the Loyalists could have actually won. Not via total domination, but more so cutting the head off the snake. The Lion's extreme arsenal of weapons, combined with Sanguinius being Sanguinius, as Guilliman acts as the glue that holds them together, would be an unbelievably potent weapon against the traitors. There is a reason why Horus was so desperate to keep these 3 legions out of the game for as long as possible. These were the 3 that could genuinely fuck him in the ass. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then pick up the phone.
Shout out to Majorkill for this, man. Obviously, if you guys know, man, if I was the Emperor, man, I definitely would have. I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of would have had the Salamanders there, you know, just because they're my favorite. I would have had the Ultramarines, and I can't lie to you, I would have had like the Blood Angels or something like that. That would have been like a perfect team for me, like kind of like Alvin and Chipmunks, you know, blue, red, and green. You get what I'm saying? You don't get what I'm saying? Okay. Comment down below what you guys think about the video. You guys ever smell? Peace out, everybody.
100K.
I meant to end the video, not start the video. Bye.